Well, Mr. Roye Okupe, creator of the Iyanu comic and now the animated series streaming on HBO Max, thank you so much for joining us. Iyanu, this has been growing across the internet. Lots of views on YouTube, getting a lot of positive feedback on HBO Max as well.
Hmm.
Before we dive into how you came up with this concept and how it all came to fruition, how does it feel to be on the other side now after this season to see all the positive feedback it's made, especially with the kids?
It's such a relief. Iyanu has been something that I've been working on since 2019. Created a graphic novel in 2019. So that's what, 6 years now to get to this point, if my math is correct. I think relief is the thing that I feel the most, but I think also excitement. It's really, really, really rewarding to be able to work so hard on something and then to see people receive it so well. I'm just very, very thankful and excited.
How did the
Hmm.
inspiration come for the comic, and when did you realize, like, hey, I can make this into a series?
There was a few things that inspired Iyanu. Number one, I think one of the things, I have a 4-year-old daughter. Before she was born, I always used to ask myself if I had a baby girl, like, what is something that I would love to either read or watch with her, in a way where both of us can be entertained, but she can also be inspired by where she comes from. So that's sort of like what started the genesis of the idea of creating a character that I would want my daughter to be able to inspire to be. So in a way, like I always say, Iyanu is a love letter to my daughter. But also, I think for me, I've always wanted to create a series that was in the vein of Avatar: The Last Airbender or Dragon Prince. These like really huge, epic, fantasy adventure stories that were accessible to both kids and adults. It's a very hard needle to thread. Um, so for me, I've always wanted to do that, but from the African perspective. So that was another, I think, impetus for me to say, you know what, how about we take a chance on this? And that's how I started working on the graphic novel. And, luckily enough, like, after the graphic novel was released, it got a lot of attention from the right people. And I was able to partner with the right people. And here we are today, celebrating the release of the animated series. Obviously we're getting a season two, we're getting an animated film that's coming out soon as well. I feel very, 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 very lucky. I feel really, really privileged to be able to get to this point because I always tell people like trying to get a show made is one of the hardest things, hardest things to do. It is so hard to get to the finish line, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys did, especially animation, right? Right now, it's
Yeah,
kind of like fighting for its life a little bit, and it's so great to see not only get a
absolutely.
season, but a second season. And you just
Yeah,
mentioned a film as well, which is great. I don't know how
yeah.
much you could give away, but is there any time frame and when we can expect that film?
Yeah, hopefully, sometime towards the end of this summer, beginning of fall.
When you were working on the comic, the graphic novel, did you have in mind this whole other extended universe, or were you just more concerned with putting pen to paper, putting art to paper, and getting the story out there?
I'm the kind of person that, even before I start to write stories, I want to understand just how big the world is. I want to understand the history from 1,000 years before. What are some, especially in fantasy, what are some of the things that led us to where we meet our main characters in the story? So I need to understand all that backstory, and all of it needs to be crafted in a way where there are no plot holes, there are no loopholes. So for me, there was an extensive back and forth in terms of how I just wanted to get the entirety of the lore out of the way first, because that then allowed me, once I started to write, to do it with ease because I didn't have to make up things as I went along. I had sort of like a Bible to tell me here's why the characters are behaving the way they are, here's what they want to achieve, and here's why certain things are happening because of some of the stuff that has happened in the past.
How stringent was the casting process?
Casting is always I think it's one of the most crucial parts about getting your story right. Like you want the right people to play the right characters, and a lot of credit has to go to our casting and voice director Paula Gama Wilson from Pep Squally. She's based in Portugal, and I think for me, one of the things that was very comforting is that from the get-go, she was aligned with me about, first of all, we wanted to use um, as many Nigerian voices as possible because we wanted to be authentic to the story. And for me, that was sort of a big thing is that if we're going to be creating a show that takes place in Africa, it needs to be as much as possible voiced by African people. Not only because we wanted to give opportunity to people on the continent, but because for us it was really a no-brainer. I think it just brings more flavor to the world in terms of like doing the right thing. Um, so it was a very, very hard process. I think Paula listened to over 1,000 auditions. Like had to literally listen to 1,000 auditions for the different characters. And when she had sort of whittled it down to a couple hundred people, then we started to go back and forth on what we felt like was going to be the best thing for each character. And that process, like I said, it's a very collaborative process because for me, again, as a creator, right, even when you're writing the stories in comic books, you have voices in your head, like how the characters speak. But when it comes to the reality of casting, in terms of like, it's not just about how people sound, is that can they give the emotion that these characters are given in the moment? So having somebody who had that expertise and pairing that with obviously myself, who knew how I wanted the voices to sound, I think was a match made in heaven. And as you can see, as people can see when they watch the show, I mean, I think we nailed it with the cast, and you can see that there's just so many brilliant performances.
Do you always have your eye on show business, or does show business find you?
I mean, I knew I always, from when I was very little, think maybe 4 or 5, that's when I fell in love with cartoons. I think like you probably, you probably watched the same things growing up: Ninja Turtles, Batman, Superman, Transformers. These are things I just absolutely fell head over heels in love. I always wanted to be in the filmmaking business. But unfortunately, like growing up in Lagos, Nigeria, you don't get to see a lot of creators like myself, at least back then, doing it professionally. So it's more of a pipe dream as opposed to something that you can chase. I think it wasn't until I moved to the United States in 2002 that I started getting the courage to say, you know what, maybe there's a chance that I could create stories that we all loved growing up, but do it from an African perspective for a global audience. And that was sort of like the genesis of me starting my company, Unique Studios. We started off obviously with graphic novels. Through Kickstarter, I was very fortunate to be around when Kickstarter just literally came out, and when a lot of creators and comic book writers like myself found a lot of success on Kickstarter. So I was lucky enough to be around at a time where Kickstarter allowed me to fund my own projects, write them my own way, produce them my own way. But I always knew I wanted to come to film, TV, and animation. It was always a goal of mine. And like I said, I was lucky enough to create really good stories in the comic book space that people were able to recognize. I think for me, the turning point was when I got a deal with Dark Horse. I got a 10-book deal with Dark Horse in 2021. That sort of like was the thing that opened the doors for me in terms of people actually taking me more serious and like, okay, this guy must have something for Dark Horse to want to partner with him. So through that, I met a couple of producers, and we started pitching around, and we were lucky to pitch to Cartoon Network and HBO Max, and they fell in love with Iyanu as well. And the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, I think to answer your question, I've always dreamed of working in the industry. But for the most part for the better half of my life, I didn't feel like I could because I felt like it wasn't for people like me. But I think one of the things I was very fortunate was, I took a chance on myself. And that's the thing I always try to encourage creators is that you look, first of all, you define your own version of success. My version of success may not be equal to yours. You can't replicate what other people are doing. You just need to find yourself and take a chance on yourself and just see where it goes. Like, and you just never know what will happen.
You mentioned growing up on those cartoon shows just like I
Yeah,
did. Some of those cartoon shows aired on a little network called Cartoon Network. I know you're technically streaming on
absolutely.
HBO Max, but HBO Max, Cartoon Network is all practically the same entity these
Yeah,
days. So how does
yeah.
it feel to be part of such like an iconic brand and know like, wow, okay, this I'm telling my stories on this iconic network?
I mean, our show actually debuted on Cartoon Network. It debuted on Cartoon Network. The entire season was on Cartoon Network. So it launched on April. I can't remember. I think April 5th or 4th or something like that. And it was a Saturday, and then the next day it went to Max. So it was like a back and forth thing where it's like the show actually launched on Cartoon Network first. So I mean, and actually they're showing the reruns every Sunday, I believe, in the US at around 3 or 3:30 EST. So you can still check it out on Cartoon Network and Max. But yeah, to be able to be part of a network and create a show and produce a show for a network that I literally grew up on is, again, look, I don't take it for granted at all. Like you know, there's a lot of people that wants to do this, and I've been one of the lucky few to be able to get to this point. So, my job now is to try to inspire the next generation of people and tell them it's possible, and use the platform that I've built to be able to encourage other producers and let them know that, look, if I can do it, hopefully they can do it, as well. But it is a dream to be able to grow up watching Dexter, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, and just literally being glued to the screen, watching Cartoon Network, and then being part of the for the rest of my life, like the life of them, being part of the network in a way where I've now contributed. And that's something that I'll hold dear for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's great, and as we spoke off the air too, I mean, it's doing some good numbers on YouTube as well. They uploaded
Hmm.
a couple full episodes on Cartoon Network, up to
Yes.
like
Yeah.
500,000 views each,
Correct.
which is
Yeah.
great. So yeah,
Amazing.
nice validation there, and
Yeah.
yeah, definitely nice that people don't have that barrier to entry. They can just check it out, preview it, and then
Hmm.
obviously watch on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. People. Yeah. No excuse. Episode 1 and 2 are actually free available on YouTube now. So if you're on the fence, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, this is the first time you're hearing about the show, please, like you said, no barrier to entry, no strings. Check out the first 2 episodes for free on YouTube. Um, and then, obviously, hopefully, you can check out the rest on Cartoon Network and Max as well.
Excellent. Well, Iyanu, of course, currently streaming right now on HBO Max, as we mentioned, Cartoon Network. First 3 episodes also on YouTube. Roy, you've been so gracious with your time. Before we let you go, we always like to ask all our guests some random and rapid fire questions just to get to know them better. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
All right. Favorite late night snack or cheat meal?
Cold Stone ice cream.
Oh, what flavor?
Cookie dough.
Mm,
Classic cookie dough with Oreos mashed in.
all right. Besides the lead character, who's your favorite character on Iyanu?
Ekon, obviously, the magical panther. I think he's almost everybody's favorite, to be honest with you.
You are Nigerian, of course. Nigeria, beautiful culture, beautiful people, rich in history. What's your
Yeah.
favorite spot whenever you go to Nigeria?
There's a place called Mega Chicken in Lagos, Nigeria. It's like a buffet, but it has like 4 different floors. So I mean, literally almost anything you want to eat in this world. It has Nigerian food, it has Chinese food, it has American food, it has burgers. It's literally 4 stories of just food, 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 and more food. So if you're ever in Lagos, Nigeria, check out Mega Chicken.
And I've heard from some friends from Nigeria too that the film and TV scene there is pretty popping as well. Have you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know obviously you're focused on the states and this is being
Hmm.
distributed worldwide, but have you looked into
Hmm.
doing any projects in particular based in Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, there's things that and conversations that I've been having and continue to have about hopefully working with local talents, and even probably hopefully a local animation studio in Nigeria to be able to produce something, locally. So hopefully we can find a way to do that, because I think for me that would be one of the most important things I feel like I can do in my career, is to take it back to where it all started, and like I said, try to uplift some of the people that are on the continent that are being the ones that are sort of like the vanguards of creating the animation industry back home. I would love to have the opportunity to collaborate with them.
And as we know, comics do go hand in hand with animation.
Yep.
They go hand in hand with
Yeah.
films. They also go
Yeah.
hand in hand with one of my favorite pieces of media, video games. Is that
Oh
something you're looking at the
my.
horizon?
I'm a video game junkie. That's another thing that has just stuck with me. It's like I have Xbox, PS5, I have a gaming laptop. So I play everything that I can get my hands on. But yeah, absolutely. I would love the opportunity to be able to create an Iyanu video game or a video game based on all my other stories. But I think for us, the focus now is, we just want to make sure we get season 2 right, we get the movies right, because if you do that and you create these stories and people fall in love with the animated series the way they're supposed to, all these other things are easy to add on top. I think sometimes people sort of like jump the gun and they forget about the foundation of what they're building and they try to jump into something else too quickly. We are trying to make sure we build a solid foundation with this animated series and make sure as many people watch it, as many people fall in love with it. And once that happens for us, the next steps into video games and all these other different things, we feel like it to be a lot easier to make that jump when, we know that we've created a massive fan base of people that just love Iyanu.
So being strategic with the licensing is what you're saying, not just giving having a license just to have a game out there on the market or something on mobile, but really be strategic and make sure that everything's high quality.
Yes, that is Lion Forge's position, is that they do want to be very strategic, because obviously they like me believe very much in this IP and want to make sure we make the right deals at the right time.
Amazing. Now you mentioned gaming, which is great. We'll have to add each
Yeah.
other on PSN later. What is your all-time favorite video game, and what's your favorite video game you're currently playing?
What a question. All-time favorite video game. It's a tough one, but it's a tie between The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Um, I bounce back and forth between the two of them. I mean, I think The Witcher 3 has the best story ever in a video game. Um, but Red Dead Redemption is obviously has a great story as well. But that the amount of detail in that video game is completely insane. And what the developers did to be able to, I don't know how they accomplished what they accomplished with Red Dead. So I honestly, I probably should give you one, but I can't. It's either Red Dead 2 or The Witcher 3. In terms of what I'm playing right now, I'm actually in a phase where I'm into more like 4X grand strategy games on PC. So I'm currently playing Stellaris. It's like this space opera game where you get to create your own space empire and try and just take out the entire galaxy. So I'm playing that. I'm playing Stellaris, and then on PS5, I'm currently there's a game that came out on PC that I think just came out on the PS5. It's called what is it called? It's a SWAT. Ready or Not. It's like a SWAT video game. So I'm currently playing that on my PS5. And what I'm waiting for now is there's a game coming out, Mafia, as well, that comes out in a couple of weeks. That's the one that I'm waiting to get my hands on.
You're speaking my language, man. All great choices. I agree with all those games. I just finished Mafia 1 and Mafia 2. I'm gonna go back to Mafia
Oh,
3.
nice.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
it's so good. Old country looks great. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
love too with Witcher, and I love too Witcher 3 that how like 10 years later they're still supporting that game, and
it's crazy, man.
yeah,
It's such a good game, man.
and it
It's so
aged so
good.
well. It doesn't feel like a
Yeah.
10-year-old game. Like the fast
hmm
travel system, everything, and
Yeah.
yeah,
As you're
Cyberpunk's great
talking
too.
now, I'm thinking of going to play another round of Witcher 3. Like I think you just got me in Cyberpunk. Yes, actually, Cyberpunk, that would be after The Witcher and Red Dead. Cyberpunk is my third all time. Like that, the story of that game is so good. I've never in my life been so attached to um like a supporting cast of characters like I have been in Cyberpunk. Like I actually feel like they are my friends, which is a very weird thing to say. Like when the game was over, I literally put the controller down for like 15 minutes. I was just sad because like I can't these where do I go now? Like my friends, what's going on?
I know, especially Johnny, right? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so good, man. I can't wait for anything from CD Projekt Red. I'm just waiting for them to just release another video game. So looking forward to
Yeah.
whatever they put out.
For sure, for sure. I know we're spending a lot on video games, but I just got to ask then, since you also love Cyberpunk, like were you a corpo? Were you a nomad? What was your path?
Street Kid, man. Street Kid all the way. I've played that game 3 times, like from beginning to end, and I pick Street Kid all the time. Every time I say like, what I'll pick something else, but I just always end up picking Street Kid. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe I'll do another round and try and do corpo. That will give me motivation to start the game all over again.
I love it. You know, we actually interviewed a few years ago the actress who played Pan Am, so maybe we could link you
Oh
guys up
my
one day.
goodness.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, she was great.
Oh my God.
Emily Wu
Panam was
Zeller,
my
she's brilliant. You know what's
my
funny?
favorite character.
I didn't realize she actually voiced like Pokemon and like some other stuff too. I was like,
Oh,
oh my goodness.
really?
Yeah.
That's my favorite character in the video game. That's awesome. I think I need to go. I have to go check out that interview. I need to go
Yeah.
check it out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can link you two up a future project. That'd be cool.
Hey, look, man, I would cast her in any, I don't even care. Any project I have, if she's open, if I'm lucky enough for her to get a yes, I would actually create a character for her in any project. Like that is how much I respect I have for the work she did on Cyberpunk.
Oh, amazing. I love it. And so just to extrapolate from all this, right? What I love is that you're a genuine fan. Like you love the medium
Absolutely.
of like
Yeah.
animation, of video games, of
Yeah.
cartoons and
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's important when it comes to building a world like this? I know it's anybody can, I'm not saying anybody can write a story or anything
100%.
else, but I'm sure it helps on the business side,
100%.
right?
100%. Like you can tell when somebody loves the industry. You can feel it in the production, you can feel it in the writing. There's just a feel. And like these video games that I mentioned, like I said, you can tell that these people love video games. Like you can't tell me that the people at CD Projekt Red don't love video games. You can't tell me the people at Rockstar don't love. Like they just love the medium and it shows in the work. And yeah, I'm a big fan. Look, I'm a geek. I like animation, video games, all of that. Like I consume so much of it because I love it all. And I respect the people that work in the industry. I always have, even before I got into the industry, I've always had a big respect for storytellers, animators, programmers, producers, and all that because it's a hard job to create something that's really coherent, inspires, like entertains, like so when people get it right, they always have my respect.
What's your best piece of advice for success?
Don't be afraid to fail. You learn more from failure than success. I learned that the hard way. Because to me, I think for a long time, I always hesitated to just go out there and put myself out there. And I think a lot of creators go through this. So, I mean, because we're so attached to the things we create, we find our identity in it sometimes, which we shouldn't. So don't be afraid to fail. Like, put your stuff out there, put yourself out there. And if you fall on your face, pick yourself up, learn from it, and you'll be better the next time.
Wise words from wise man. I love that. And we got you on another high note. For anybody that's not already convinced, why should people check out Iyanu on HBO Max and Cartoon Network?
You've literally never seen anything like it. And that's not hyperbole. There's never been a time where, somebody has, combined, animation on the level of Avatar The Last Airbender with African history, culture, and mythology, with female-led character surrounded by, two kickers, teenage male boys who always want to support her and push her forward. And you have a show that incorporates capoeira. Like I don't know of any animated series where the sole fighting style is capoeira as well. And you have this young girl going on a magical journey to discover who she is and her powers, not necessarily to use it for her own good, but in a way for her to uplift her community. Our story at the end of the day is about empathy because we believe that the world can really use a lot of empathy right now. So the combination of all these things lead into a show, obviously Iyanu. And I guarantee you, like when you watch just from the first episode, you have literally never seen anything like this show before. So that is why you should give it a chance.
Amazing. Roye Okupe, thank you so much for the time. Before we let you go, where can fans find you online and where can we find you next?
So you can find me personally at Unique Studios, YOUNEEK, and then the word studios on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, X, and all of that. But for the Iyanu series itself, you can follow Iyanu the series, Iyanu series, so IYANU series on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, as well. But look, if you want to remember one thing, again, go on YouTube, just go and type in Iyanu episode 1 and please watch. Give us a chance. That's all we ask.
I love it. Roy, thank you so much. Bonus question. Is there anything you wish I asked you in this interview?
No, actually, you pretty much covered everything. I think the last thing I'll say is just that I just want to encourage creators because I know what it's like to listen as a creator to this type of interview and wonder, look, when is it going to be my turn? I want to create a show. I want to create a comic. again, I just want to encourage you to keep moving forward. I don't know what the future has for you, but I know that the people that succeed are the people that put themselves out there. Like who said it, Wayne Gretzky? I believe you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you need to put yourself in the game for you to actually have a chance to succeed. So if you're struggling and you're wondering when should I start, there's never been a better time to start than now.